You probably think the biggest change in AI is that it talks now. It isn't. The real change is that it no longer waits its turn. For the first time, mainstream AI can listen, respond, search, reason, and keep the conversation moving almost like another person, and that changes something bigger than convenience. It changes how Americans will search, learn, shop, work, and trust what they hear. So here's the real question. When AI stops feeling like software and starts feeling like someone in the room, does it become your most useful tool or your easiest mistake? That question matters because this is moving out of the demo phase fast. OpenAI says more than 150 million people talk to ChatGPT each week using voice and dictation, and its new GPT-Live system is designed to listen and speak continuously instead of forcing that old back and forth where you talk, stop, wait, and then get a reply. It can even hand harder jobs, like web search or deeper reasoning, to another model in the background while the conversation keeps going. That sounds like a technical upgrade. But for regular people, it's really a behavior upgrade. It means the chatbot is turning into a live interface. Think about where that lands in American life. On the commute, in the kitchen, on a walk, while helping your kid with homework, while comparing prices, translating a phrase, checking a claim, or asking what a weird letter from your insurance company actually means. Pew found that 49% of American adults now say they use AI chatbots at least sometimes. And the most common reason is simple: searching for information. Among employed adults who use them, work tasks are right behind that. So this is not just a toy for tech people anymore. It is sliding into normal daily decisions. But here's the first surprising part. Even with all the hype, America is still split. Pew says 51% of American adults do not ever use AI chatbots, and among non-users, privacy and accuracy are some of the most common reasons. So the next battle is not just capability, it's trust. And trust gets more complicated when the machine has a voice. Because once an AI sounds responsive, warm, fast, and human, people don't interact with it the same way they interact with a search bar. OpenAI and MIT Media Lab researchers found emotional engagement with ChatGPT is rare overall, but they also found something more unsettling. Among a small group of heavy users, emotionally expressive use was much more concentrated, and voice showed mixed effects on well-being. Brief voice use was linked to better well-being, but prolonged daily use was linked to worse outcomes. The more natural these tools feel, the more careful we have to be about what habits they create. That leads to the second big surprise. The danger may not be that AI becomes your friend. The danger may be that it becomes your default. When something is frictionless, you use it for more. Pew found Americans already use chatbots not just for search and work, but also for medical advice, diet and fitness information, entertainment, and even emotional support. That means one conversational layer can now sit between you and your doctor's office, your browser, your boss, your bank, and your own judgment. And that's where the contradiction begins. These systems are getting more human at the exact moment Americans are surrounded by more artificial voices and more digital deception. The FBI warned in 2025 that malicious actors used AI-generated voice messages while impersonating senior American officials. The FTC has also warned that voice cloning can be used in scams, and it reported $3.5 billion in losses to imposter scams in 2025 alone. So, we are entering a world where one AI voice may help you think faster, while another fake voice may try to manipulate you faster. That means the smartest way to use live AI is not to ask, "Is it amazing?" clearly? It is. The smarter question is, where should I not trust the vibe? Here are the lines regular people should draw. Use live AI for speed, brainstorming, translation, first pass explanations, language practice, and low stakes research. Use it when your hands are busy and your brain needs a fast draft. But slow down the moment the stakes go up. Health, legal questions, money, identity, family emergencies, job decisions. If an answer can cost you your freedom, your savings, your safety, or your credibility, the voice should never be the final stop. And privacy matters more than people think, because speaking feels casual. OpenAI says audio and video clips from voice chats are stored alongside the transcript in chat history and retained for 30 days. The company says it does not train on those audio or video clips unless you choose to share them. But transcripts and other files from voice conversations may still be used for training, if improve the model for everyone is turned on. In other words, the safest assumption is simple: don't say out loud what you wouldn't want stored, reviewed, or accidentally misunderstood. There's another important reality check here. Official documentation is still in transition. OpenAI's July 2026 GPT-Live announcement says GPT-Live 1 is rolling out for paid users, and GPT-Live 1 Mini for free users, while parts of the current Help Center still describe voice access in older GPT-4o terms. And note that some legacy voice experiences still handle features like video and screen sharing. That tells you how fast this space is changing. If you focus only on product names, you'll miss the real story. The real story is that voice is becoming the front door to AI. Not because everyone asked for a blue orb that talks back, but because voice removes friction. And when friction disappears, behavior changes. Americans do not need to sit at a desk, type a clean prompt, and think like programmers anymore. They can speak naturally, interrupt, switch topics, ask follow-up questions, ask for live translation, and keep moving. That is incredibly powerful. It is also exactly why bad habits can form so quickly. And one more thing, the flashy demo is not always the durable story. Real products roll out unevenly. Features appear on one plan, disappear on another, or stay available only in legacy modes. So, if you're trying this on your phone tonight, the smartest mindset is not hype. It's verification. Check what your version can actually do. Check what model you're on. Check the source it cites. And check yourself before you hand a smooth voice too much authority. So, the winner in this new phase will not just be the company with the smartest model. It will be the one Americans feel safe using when they're tired, distracted, in a hurry, or emotionally vulnerable. That is why this moment matters. We are not just teaching machines to talk. We are teaching ourselves to live with a voice that sounds helpful before it has fully earned our trust. So, the biggest question is not whether AI can speak like a person. It's whether we are ready for millions of people to treat it like one.